cars that come through, the graffiti that's on it, the railroad doesn't want it, but they can't stop it, all right?
You're
They don't,
referring to vandalism.
I don't think what they wanna do is stop what you're doing, but they wanna have rules to say how far you can go and not go.
If I'm not
So
mistaken.
I don't think we're attacking.
Now, in your mind, is it possible to have is it possible to craft an ordinance, or for that matter, maybe you feel it's neither necessary nor possible, to craft an ordinance which would mitigate the harm that we are talking about that you're granting exists without limiting art?
Yes.
Decipher
It's very
between.
possible.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
right.
if I'm not mistaken, such a thing already exists, and I'll tell you how I stumbled upon this. So the tattoo shop that I now operate used to be owned and operated by a different gentleman. I worked for him. I worked for him since it opened last November. The murals were put up before I took control of the business and changed the name and became the owner. During my zoning issues, where they come out and they look at your signs and they do all that stuff, the gentleman came out and he asked me about the stuff on the wall. I said, yeah, I know it's there. I did one of them. A friend of mine did the other. They've been here since before this was my business. It was my every intention to paint over them and do a new mural. Okay? He said, okay, well, there are such permits where you need to go through channel XYZ to make this happen. So let's jump a week or whatever it was to when I was at the zoning office, getting all my paperwork officially in order. I asked him about the graffiti permit, and such a permit does exist and is named just that. It is what you were supposed to do is take a sketch to the Allentown police. The police look at it, say, yes, there is gang material in there, or no, there is not, at which point they approve it. You take that approval to the zoning office, and you get a permit. It would seem that that is not a necessary thing to do, otherwise there would already be action taken. However, after that little visit with zoning and the talk I had with that gentleman, I was contacted by Graffiti Busters. They said, hey, we heard you wanted to paint over this thing. We'll do it for you. And I'm talking early December, late November. I said, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to wait till the weather breaks and paint over it. But it was with the intention of prepping the wall for another mural. They said, okay, we'll be in touch. I was contacted again. They said, hey, are you still interested in us painting over that? We'll send somebody out to speak with you soon. I said, yep, because I want to paint a new mural as soon as it gets warm. They said, okay, we'll be in touch. Ironically, today, as I'm typing this, I get another call from them. And for the fourth time, I make it very clear that I am painting a new mural, and if you would so kindly come out and prep my wall, I would be in your debt. They said to me, oh, you're painting a new mural? Okay, well, we're not going to come out there, which is fine, because it was never my intention to, prep the wall at the cost of the city or, they explained, I had a nice little talk with the woman on the phone, she explained to me that this was for unwanted art. This was not something that they were, just giving away their time so that I could do something new, and that's completely understandable. But that ordinance does exist.
So this is a city agency that was calling you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, then, what I think, to be honest with you, as I say, what I would like to see, and I think would solve the problem, is, that process, that ordinance. I don't know if you can get a hold of that, or Captain Allsway, if you know, who the people would be that could, dig up, the process of the ordinance for us. Because, essentially, I think what we were told was that no such process existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if indeed it does, fine, that takes care of the, and if it does exist and is enforceable, and is enforced, that certainly takes care of the situation
Right.
as far as we're concerned.
And I think that you know, something like that is necessary. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
But, like I said before, it, as of right now, doesn't seem very well enforced, if enforceable at all. And I think the criteria, at least the criteria that I was given, which I don't know if I was, you know, if I was given that criteria in its entirety, you know, no gang affiliation, no illegal activity affiliation, no nudity, no profanity. I think all those things are absolutely reasonable. Again, I came here because my artwork is being used as an example against vandalism. You are basically saying, look at this. We want to get rid of things like this, but not this one, because this one's okay. But nobody said, hey, this one's okay. Nobody contacted me from WFMZ. Nobody contacted me from this council until this fine gentleman came and gave me the invite. So you can see how this is all very surprising to me. And
No, and I can understand that. I will say this, when I spoke to the members of the press that were at the city council meeting, there was someone there from the morning call, WFM call was the Express Times and WFMZ, except, trying to think of the name of the gent from WFMZ, he was, Randy Kraft, who also appears in the morning call from time to time. And Randy Kraft specifically said to me, do you have an address for this? And I said, I really don't know. I can, give you the street, the 100 number. What I did though that evening, before I sent it to him, he said, could you send this to me? Is I did drive down Hanover Avenue, note the name of your business, and said that, and pulled your address off the website, off the internet rather,
right.
and said, that the person, that this particular picture is on the side of East Side Tattoo, located at 2200 or whatever you are,
right.
Union Boulevard. So he did know that, so I don't know if, that he wanted to get something out that night, overnight, that he did not contact you, but he was given your information.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's take pictures of vandalism and use that as an example, not completely legal art. I mean, it's if we want to make these lines clear and make this ordinance something that's enforceable, let's do it right.
That's a fair request.
Yeah.
That's a very fair request, but just to answer these questions too. All right, in downtown, they have historic ordinance which tells people how to fix up their home, what materials to use and stuff like that.
Colors they can paint their homes, etc.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we are not a historic district, or some parts of East Side can be a historic district. So let's get to your feeling about a Philadelphia type ordinance in relationship to a panel judging. Bear in mind that, okay, if somebody, an owner, wants to put a mural art on his property, he may be allowed to, okay? But, especially in an unregulated group here, but can we have an ordinance which, that this type of order must go before this committee to see if it's appropriate?
Well, what he's saying that there already is such an ordinance.
I think.
So that's why I'd like to
Yeah,
see
well,
it.
that's a judgment, that's actually, I don't know if it's an ordinance or a
Let's take a
police
look.
policy.
Let's examine it.
I think that the biggest thing that I am concerned with defending is artistic freedom and style. If I own a building, I don't particularly care where it is. You should not be able to tell me you can't paint that with spray paint, and you can't paint it bright colors, and you can't paint it with lettering or a portrait. Content and style are primary pieces of an artist's freedom. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the owner of a building, then I should be able to kindly choose any artist I see fit to paint my property.